What is up, folks? Welcome to the latest episode of the Harold McBasketball Show. I'm your gracious host, as always, Harold McBasketball, along with my co-host, I know ball Paul. Paul, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. I'm doing very well. Welcome back to all the Harold McBasketballers, all the Harold McBasketballettes, and everything in between. Glad to be back. Our last video exploded
As always.
because I paid for views, but it's okay. Don't use the promotion, guys, on YouTube. It's bad. It's fake. It's bots. But it looks cool. I guess we got I don't know, 1,500 views after after 50
Pretty
views.
good, pretty good, yeah. It's quite the system that YouTube has where it's like you just pay to have bot views and like it's literally just their own bots. But I don't know, it makes it look cool. It's cool seeing the 1500s. That's kind
We
of
we
fun.
tested it.
Like, yeah.
I wanted to test. There's two features, the channel growth and getting more views or something like that. They both suck. Anyway,
Yeah. It's a nice dopamine hit though. We might do it again. We'll see though. Speaking of dopamine hits though, whenever there's a big trade, that is always an awesome dopamine hit. We did have one well before the trade deadline. The deadline is not until February 3rd. And yeah, we had Trae Young get traded to the Wizards for CJ McCollum and Corey Kispert. So that happened about a week ago. Yeah, I remember waiting to see if there was any draft capital in that deal, and there was not. It was essentially just a Trae Young salary dump to the Wizards. Kind of tough to have thoughts on this. What are your initial thoughts on it, Paul?
it is tough to have thoughts on it because yeah, not many thoughts. I mean, it was Trey Young's preferred destination,
I think it
it,
was his only destination. I don't think anyone else wanted him.
which I think it was his only destination, as Zach Lowe had pointed out on his podcast. So that was kind of a funny thing. He wanted to go to one of the worst teams in the league. Um, and he's going to get some playing time there. I think he's going to possibly make them a bit frisky. I think, the Wizards have a lot of young talent that, are carrying kind of more than I think they can handle offensively. And it's going to be interesting to see if Trae Young's going to come in there and push them in the right direction, or is it going to be kind of the opposite where he takes over and maybe hurts some of their development?
Yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting thing, especially because going into the year, we were like pretty hot on the Hawks. We were bullish on what Trae Young could do with this team with like Jalen Johnson ascending. They added KP over the offseason. They always had Risa Shea, who was the first overall pick just before. So the roster was looking pretty good on paper. Okongwu's been like really good this year, had been showing a lot of promise in years prior. So on paper, it made a lot of sense. But yeah, I don't know. I felt like for a while there was almost like two paths this like Trae Young journey could take, and like it felt like he was like pretty close to hitting the Steph Curry arc at some point, where his 3-point shooting and passing together would be like devastating. It felt like the guy any night could drop 30 points and 15 assists. Um, yeah, very underrated passer. Like always has a shot to like lead the league in assists, but I feel like the second direction was just like his defense is just too bad to where it's this massive liability. The 3-point shooting is like sneaky, just like not that good. He's like very consistently like a 35% 3-point shooter, like not very efficient with his shots. Maybe it's a bad shot selection. I'm not totally sure. There's always like a lot of reports as well that he's just not a very good teammate. Like, and I think it's because he's
Mm.
a bit of a shot chucker, maybe a little bit of a locker room cancer. So those are kind of like the two paths he could take. Clearly, he has taken the second, where all of maybe his bad habits have caught up to him, and yeah, no, essentially just like no longer an asset. Where teams are like, defense is more of a priority these days. Trae Young just gets absolutely destroyed on the defensive end. His teammates don't like him, and he's not a very efficient 3-point shooter, and that's kind of his main thing. So all of a sudden, it's like this asset that was traded for Luka Doncic on draft night is now essentially worth nothing. So pretty tough turn of events. I think the Wizards got a steal. Like I would make this trade if I'm them. Like I think other teams actually should have also been looking for Trae Young. I don't think he's as worthless as essentially the trade market has deemed him to be. But yeah, that's essentially what the free market had decided.
Yeah, from the Wizards' perspective, I mean, I do kind of like it. It's kind of a why not situation. CJ McCollum is 34, 35 years old. Corey Kispert is a decent enough kind of running off the ball, like catch and shoot player, but that's they gave up essentially nothing to take a swing on someone that can, I think, really accelerate, kind of the trajectory of their franchise. And I love, their young players. I love Sarr, who's looking like maybe the best player out of that draft. Keyshawn George, Bilal. I mean, Bub Carrington hasn't looked great. Um, but and Trey Johnson, of course, has been like
He's
lighting it up
awesome. He's
as of
so
late,
good.
which we knew, but as of late, yeah, ridiculous. Um, and then kind of on the flip side of things, yeah, kind of like you said, the Hawks experiment, I'm kind of surprised it went so poorly. Um, despite, I
Feels like
guess,
Yeah, it almost feels like they didn't really give it a chance this season. Whereas like KP pretty much like missed most of the year. Trae Young was hurt for a lot of the years. Like they never really got to see how it looks, but also like there were a lot of advanced stats saying like, yeah, the Hawks are just way better when Jalen Johnson's running point guard and not Trae Young. So I guess they decided it was enough of a sample to pull the plug.
but I thought they did like a fabulous job of building kind of the ideal team around Trae Young in terms of the defense there, and it kind of seemed like despite that, like no matter how good the defensive players were, they couldn't keep up with him as a liability. But I thought it was strange, and I thought they could have maybe given it more of a chance. But obviously, with the contract extension coming up, I guess they just felt they had to cut their losses, and obviously Jalen Johnson has looked like a stud and looks like, a better player than Trae Young. So.
Yeah, and I think you kind of nailed it there at the end. Like there are a lot of things that go into this, but I think one of the biggest reasons the Hawks made this trade is just Jalen Johnson is way better. Like he's like legitimately been like a fringe top five player this season. Maybe that's pushing it a little bit, but like top 10, I would say for sure. So all of a sudden, it's like you want him to be your first option. Trey kind of just conflicts with that. He's going to take possessions from him. So all of a sudden, like if you want to like create this very switchable defense, it's like fuck, you don't even need Trey Young anymore. Just get rid of him, put a defensive point guard there, and just run everything through Jalen Johnson. It's just a better version of what you were trying to do with Trey. So I think they decided that was the best version of this team, which I understand, but I still weirdly feel like there should have been more of a market for it. And like if I'm like another bad team, like I would have swooped in and tried to make this deal. Um, because like I think even if the Wizards don't stick around and hold on to Trae Young, I think his value is going to rebound. I think at some point like, he's going to be back to being like an all-star caliber player. We've seen a lot of trades like this recently where it's like, it's like Giddy got dumped and we're like, Giddy's awesome. Like, why did they make this trade? It happened with MPJ. We're like, why did this happen? Like, everyone else is like, oh yeah, this player sucks. Like, they're not good. But like, Giddy maybe be an all-star. MPJ maybe be an all-star. Trae Young may just be the latest example of this, where their value is way too low and they're going to rebound back to all-star form or rediscover that. I think that's probably going to be the case. So this could also be a situation where maybe the market got a little bit too ridiculous under the new cap situation. But we'll see. We'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's kind of the current landscape emphasizes the length and the defense. So I think that's kind of hurt his stock, even though, maybe unfairly. And then I think, with the apron and how much, an overpaid player can kind of hurt a team's kind of financial situation, his $45 million contract, I think, is less appealing. But I agree that he is extremely talented. I mean, this guy was averaging 11 assists, and he still is like an extremely productive offensive player. Like the advanced stats say that he is, but defensively, obviously, is it's not the case, and maybe just how team chemistry wise, also not the case. So
Yeah, I don't know.
that being
I still
said,
remember their I still remember their Eastern Conference Finals run like a couple of years ago, and like I don't know. I still hold out hope that Trae Young exists.
and it's not like the Hawks, in the sample without Trae Young this year, I think they're just about like 500 or a couple games over 500. It's not like they were so awesome without Trae Young. I think they were a bit better, but the sample size wasn't like so obvious that Trae Young was like the problem. So
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Well, I don't know. We'll see. Do we want to do All Stars? We kind of buried the lead that that is like the main theme of this episode is to run through our East and West All Stars. So, anything else? Any more notes on Trae Young before transitioning?
no, but I'm definitely I'm excited to watch both teams. I love kind of like fresh starts or kind of new look rosters. So I'm definitely going to tune into both teams, and I'm optimistic that the Hawks can kind of with a kind of a new fire under them, they can maybe make a nice little push here and not live up to my first seed expectations, but at least be a little bit revitalized here with Jalen Johnson at the helm.
Yeah, for sure. And I think Trae Young's MVP case only gets better on Washington. So still holding out hope there. Okay, let's do it. Do you want to start with East or West for All Stars? I think we should go West actually, because I think the West is, as always, every year is like a little bit more contentious as you go down the list. Like it just feels like there's always like a couple more snubs. Where the East I thought was a little bit easier to put together, albeit, still some conflicting spots every now and then.
Yeah, we should say that the East versus West thing is so stupid. I mean, they're not even doing it this year, so I don't get why we're picking East versus West. And there's so many snubs, I thought, in the West.
Definitely, but I believe how the voting works online is like you still go through and vote East West, and then they kind of break it down by
No, yeah,
international versus whatever, which I agree is like so dumb at this point. It's like why do we need to do that? Like we should just pick the best number of players, and then if they want to break it into teams, do it from there.
yeah.
It is dumb because like looking at the East, I'm like I would totally take out this player for this player, like without a doubt, like no questions asked, but we do not have that luxury.
Yeah, very stupid. Yeah, okay, let's pick. But yeah, I do not love the All-Star format or game or any, just, I don't know. I think it should kind of just be like an award and let's move on. I don't even want the game at this point.
And that's where it's been trending for a couple of years now, where it's like the All-Star game used to be this cool thing where it was a great way to like see all the stars at the same time, but now it's so accessible through social media and it's always on TV to where the All-Star game is just a meme now, not really needed. But I don't know. I'm sure the NBA still looks at the revenue numbers and they see the jersey sales from the All-Star game and things like that. So I think they justify it revenue-wise, even though the product itself is garbage on TV.
But what I do like is acknowledging the best players kind of at the halfway point. Um,
Absolutely.
and that's what we're here to do. So in the West, there are, I think, the very obvious locks that we can probably get out of the way. I mean, are we emphasizing
Definitely.
who's starting, who's reserves? I mean,
I think it matters for sure. So I think definitely emphasis on starters. For the starters, I essentially had four guys that I thought were locks for it. And then I'd say like one open spot that is like up for debate.
yeah, I think we can rip, the SGA, Luca, Joker, Wemby. Those are the very
Yeah,
obvious
those are the
locks.
locks. Correct, correct.
And then for me, it's between two guys. It's either Curry or Ant.
I had Edwards.
I also had Ant. Yeah,
Okay,
just
all right. So yeah, same starters in the West.
but Steph,
Um,
I would be okay if he took that last spot. He's been balling. So
Steph is a weird one for me. I was like, my issue with Steph is I'm like, the Warriors are just not good enough for him to be in contentious for a
Mhm.
starting spot here. Steph has been really good. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, he's still averaging almost 30 points per game. The guy is as great as always, but the Warriors are just, they're just such an abomination to watch this year. I hate them. So, which is like a weird thing because obviously, like, for years, I was like rooting on the Warriors' downfall. And now that it's here, I'm like, I don't want to watch this, man.
they're staying afloat. They're in the eighth seed.
Barely, barely.
I mean, shit,
Um,
one game behind the Rockets. That's crazy. Well,
yeah.
more than one game, but one loss behind. One win less than the Rockets, five losses more.
Yeah,
Okay.
the Rockets have kind of slid as of lately, but I know Şengün's been missing a little bit of time. We'll get to the Rockets, I'm sure, as we get to our reserves here. Um, just to kind of run through some stats for some of these like players. We don't do all of them, but like Jokic is hurt right now, but like before he got hurt, he was like sneaky having maybe his best season ever. He's averaging 30 points per game, 11 assists, and 12 rebounds. That
Wow.
kind of blew my mind when I was looking at it. So I was just like, because like for a second I was like, oh yeah, Jokic is hurt right now. It's like, should he be an all-star starter? Should he not be? Then I looked at his stats and I was like, of course. I went through all the advanced stats. He's like number one in everything. It's just ridiculous stuff for Jokic. So he was a pretty easy lock, I thought.
The most absurd
Um,
efficiency, like,
yeah, ridiculous stuff.
doesn't
It's always
make
like him and
sense.
Gobert are like the highest shooting percentages, and it's like, okay, don't know how he does that, but yeah, he's great. I love him for that. And then Lucas stood out too, just because he's averaging 33.3 points per game, which is like sneaky really high. Just because at the start of the year, it was like he was missing like a game or two. It's like Reeves was really cooking at the start. LeBron obviously came back in the mix as of lately, but yeah, he's still averaging 33.3 points per game, which is just like absolutely ridiculous. You'll see, and then everyone else, of course, doing awesome. But yeah, Edwards is kind of like the guy who sneaks in there, and I'd say deservingly so. He's getting like 29 points per game.
Wow.
The T-Wolves have actually been like really good this year, which is I don't want to say like surprising, but the West is like stacked. Like for them to be like they're above the Lakers in the standings right now, they're above the Rockets, Warriors, as we mentioned, above the Suns. Like they're the 4 seed in the West right now, which is super impressive. Only 2 games behind of the Nuggets, 3 games behind the Spurs. So really nice year for them, like very much on the back of Edwards. Um, but yeah, they've been nice. Randall's been good too. Randall's not on my list, but he's also had like a nice season.
Yeah, Randall has had a surprisingly good season, and Gobert too. I think Gobert. It's always ups and downs with how people perceive Gobert, and I think we're kind of on the up and up right now. I'm seeing some TikTok saying, guys, like Gobert, is always leading his team to the best defense, and it's true. He is just a walking top defense in this league, and yeah, I would probably give him a nod over Randall, but both have been excellent, and the Wolves and there's the resurgence of Bones Highland. Um,
Right, crazy. Because they literally drafted Rob Dillingham to like do what Bones Highland is doing, and then like Dillingham kind of ended up being ass, and now Bones is getting those minutes, which is crazy. Did not expect that.
did not expect that, but yeah, they kept their core together and surprisingly, yeah, especially Randall, I'm surprised has been keeping up and not been like a total basketball terrorist.
Yeah, yeah, like the Cat for Randall trade. It's like I would still rather have Cat, but it is aged fine for the Wolves, and like they could very easily justify and say like similar production, but like Randall is a lot cheaper than Cat. So I don't it's like it kind of makes sense now. He's a good fit with Edwards. So the I hate to say like I don't want to say we were wrong about it, but it was fairly savvy by the Timberwolves front office.
Recency bias is crazy, and not that I disagree with you, but it is crazy how like yeah, a year ago it was like wow, the Knicks got such a steal, and then now Cat has kind of been struggling, and anyway.
Yeah, anyway. All right, should we get to the reserves? This is generally where things get like a little bit more contentious, I would say. The starters are essentially locked in for the most part.
Yeah, and then I think Curry is, a clear sixth. Um, for me,
Sure.
at 30 points. Yeah, it gets pretty interesting after here. I would say my locks would be Sangoon. I love
On
Sangoon.
my list, yes.
I think Jamal Murray is a lock. He's having his best season thus far in the NBA. I think he's like 25 points and like 7.5 assists on I don't I wrote maybe like 40 something percent from the 3 point 44% from three on like a pretty high volume.
Yeah, it's like Steph Curry numbers as far as like his 3-point efficiency. Yeah, I have Jamal Murray as well. I thought he was a lock, and he's been insanely clutch for the Nuggets without Jokic. Like they've still been beating teams, and it is completely because of Jamal Murray and because of Peyton Watson somehow, but mostly Jamal.
Yeah, they beat the Celtics. Um yeah, I imagine it'll maybe taper off a bit. Maybe without Jokic they can kind of surprise teams with how they play, but yeah,
Yeah.
they've been decent. I guess my only other like lock I would say is Denny Avdia, who's just having a monster year.
Yeah, I don't. Avdija wasn't like a lock for me. He was kind of one of those guys I was like eyeballing towards the end, where I was like, this guy has to make it, but like it was like pretty close between like him and some other guys when I was eyeballing it. Um, I agree though. It's like the Blazers have been good-ish for as far as like Blazers standards go. They have been good this year. Yeah, he's averaging 26 points per game, 7 assists, 7 rebounds. He's kind of just become this like high volume scorer, triple double threat. Apparently, he's also third in points per 100 possession. So like he leads like an incredibly efficient offense when he's out there. So I agree. I agree he's an all-star. Locke is like tough, but like I
His
don't know. I've got him here
off, yeah. The advanced stats kind of love him because of
for sure.
obviously the points per possession because he gets to the free throw line um, at one of the highest rates, and then his on-off stats are ridiculous. The Trailblazers are only good when he's on the floor. So for me, he's a
Mhm.
lock, and I also had a thumbnail that said Denny is an all-star. So maybe
Hell
that's
yeah. Oh yeah. So gotta make sure he gets in there. Yeah, I believe how the voting is going. Like he should make it. And I agree. I agree. He wasn't like one of my first guys, but I he will make it. He is on my list and he's very deserving. The
Those
other
were the
guys,
guys at the top of my list. But yeah, go ahead.
interesting. Yeah, the other guys that I have, and like these guys, I think are also locks. I had Booker as a lock. The Suns have been really really good this year, and he's essentially carried them.
His
And
stats kind of surprised
then
me though, Booker's.
they're still really good. Like, sorry, he's not averaging 30 points per game, but I mean, like 25, 6 and 4 is like still just fine. I think
Yeah, but what are the shooting splits?
you can pull them up if you like. I don't have them in front of me,
Guess what he's
but
shooting from three.
I don't want to guess. 'Cause clearly, it's not that good. You're setting me up.
He's shooting 30% from three.
Yeah, it's
Shut
not
up,
that good.
Booker. Always lower than you'd expect, like throughout his entire career. But anyway, I agree that the Suns being such a feel-good story. But yeah, the advanced stats don't love Book.
Yeah. They're 25 and 15 though. They're the sixth seed. I think they have to have an
Yeah,
all-star. If you want to make an argument for Mark Williams to be the all-star, I would not.
Dylan
It's like because
Brooks,
I just like yeah, maybe like Gillespie, maybe that
Gillespie.
guy. Yeah, Dylan Brooks, maybe like this team just has nobody on it. So I'm very willing to give Devin Booker the credit for how good this team has played. I think it's been awesome. I also have a little bit of fantasy bias. He's been pretty good for my fantasy team.
He will be voted in.
For sure. So I think he's effectively a lock. Um, I also had like Austin Reeves as a lock. I was like, this is like a done deal. I was like, this guy's been so good. Carried the Lakers at the start of the year. He's still averaging 26.6 points per game, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. Like these are just all-star numbers. The Lakers have been good. And kind of like burying the lead here would be like, I don't have LeBron as an all-star then. I've got Reeves over him because I will not be giving the Lakers three all-stars. LeBron also missed a ton of time at the start of the year. So that's how I'd have that set up. But I think Reeves is for sure an all-star.
I think it's debatable, but
Ooh, interesting.
yeah, no, it's crazy to think that a dude averaging like 27 points would be debatable. And if it wasn't this East versus West BS, I think he would be a lock for me. But I think there are guys that probably have a better case. Uh,
Ooh, intrigue.
yeah, I don't know. And we'll talk about it. But I mean, I would be fine if he was an all-star, but I have guys like Kawhi ahead of him. I think Kawhi is a borderline lock. Um,
Yeah, Kawhi's a tough one. Kawhi's my big snub
oh
to kind of
no.
expose that, which like
He's
really
been
hurt. I was
ridiculous recently.
I know, and he's been on my fantasy team, and he's playing all the back-to-backs. He's been so good, but like the Clippers have also been so bad.
Not since he's been balling. Like,
He has been really good. The Clippers have still been pretty bad recently, dude. Like they're just
really?
not that good. Yeah. They are on like a hot streak as of lately. They are 8-2 in their last 10. So he is getting hot at the right time. But
Yeah,
they are still very
They're
much
climbing.
they're very
Kawhi is
much
so
15 and
good.
23. Yeah, you can certainly persuade me to get this guy in there. Like Kawhi's been awesome. This is like maybe his best season. I would have to like look at all of his stats like side by side, but like on paper, this could be like his best ever. Like 28 points per game, 6.4 rebounds, 3.5 assists, 2.3 steals. Like the claw is back. Like the defense is back in a big way. Zero point 0.7 blocks. So, but the 28 points per game like really surprised me this season for him. So I agree. He was like my top snub. I could be persuaded to get him in. I would have to kind of choose who I want to put him in over. I still think I'd want to keep Book there just because how good the Suns have been. I think they deserve an all-star. Then like yeah, you could probably make an argument like maybe goes in over Reeves. My last spot was also Durant, who has been
Mm.
awesome this year, but maybe there's an argument that it's Kawhi over Durant now that like the Rockets have slipped a bit more. But that's like a really hard conversation to have. Like, am I snubbing Durant right now? Like, what is happening? So it is very difficult to figure out how the last spots work out there. Assuming that like then like Şengün, Steph, Jamal, and Avdi are all like locks. We're not moving them out.
Yeah, we've said basically all the names on my short list, except for one guy who is Chet. Chet Holmgren, I think, needs to be in the mix with how good the Thunder are, obviously, how important he is to them defensively. Um, again, the efficiency and everything is there. So
Yeah, I had him
he's
on my
on.
snub sheet and then I deleted him.
Okay. He is on my snub sheet as well.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think ultimately, do I? Yeah, I think I would end up taking Curry, Jamal, KD, Kawhi, Denny, and Reeves. Does that make 12?
Yeah, that would. So you're saying you're taking out Booker then for Kawhi? Is that how you do
Oh,
it?
fuck. No, no, no. I might actually probably Booker over Reeves.
So then Reeves is your snub.
I'm snubbing Reeves. I'm snubbing LeBron, Chet, and James Harden.
Yeah, which I think is correct-ish.
Harden's having an
Um,
awesome year too, but I
yeah,
think
but he can be fucked. The Clippers were so bad with him at
Clippers
the
are
helm.
so bad,
Like
and
when,
Kawhi is clearly the better player.
yeah, Kawhi's top dog there, no doubt. Um, yeah, if the Clippers were better, like we'd be talking two all-stars for them, but like even one is like a little generous. I think you're right though that Kawhi should get in though. I really don't want to take out Reeves. I feel like Reeves really
It's
deserves to be
I
an
think it's
all-star
at
this
the
year.
Inuit Dome. It's at the brand new Inuit Dome.
Okay, so then it's like, yeah, it's like they have
So
to get in. It's a lock for Ballmer.
Kawhi's making his
What,
pregame speech.
right? He's gonna talk about aspiration trees, like all that fun stuff.
Yeah, I need
What a way to kind of distract from that, just to have his best season in a couple of years. No one has even discussed that controversy this season.
kind of went away, but yeah.
Yeah, well, it just went away because people just stopped talking about it. They were like, the league is like, we're not gonna look into this. We don't care.
I don't even remember what happened. No, I mean the no show contract to play for the
Yeah, exactly.
Clippers.
They give him like $50 million or something to like do nothing with this company that's like also a sponsor. Um, yeah, where are the Lakers in the standings right now? Maybe they shouldn't have two All-Stars.
It
But
sucks,
Reeves has
man.
been so awesome.
He would probably I would probably have him ranked like eighth out of 12 in the East. You know what I mean? Like he would be over three, four of the dudes I have making it in the East. But yeah, I think
Yeah, okay, okay. I think I'm with you on snubbing Reeves. I'm kind of like going through the other guys, and I'm like, would we consider snubbing? I'm
you
like, I'm
could
like,
snub
would we snub?
KD.
I was like, and like this would also be like maybe where like the Avdia thing comes in. It's like, could we snub Avdia for Kawhi?
I don't
I know
think
you don't want to. The stats are pretty similar. The teams are both pretty bad.
I would snub KD, Book, or Reeves. Those are kind of the three at the bottom for me, where I think Denny and
Yeah,
yeah,
I know you've got Denny a little bit higher. All right, I'm gonna snub Reeves for the sake of time. I'm gonna say Reeves is snubbed for Kawhi. And I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry about it. We can only get so many white boys from the Lakers into the All-Star game, maybe next year. Yeah, that's tough. That was the toughest part with the West was like deciding on that last spot. But other than that, I think it feels good. Like I feel very okay snubbing LeBron, Chet, and Harden. So
especially
not too
LeBron.
bad. Especially LeBron. That feels great. I'm thrilled about that.
Yeah.
I've been trying to snub him for years from the
Will he
All-Star
make it?
game.
Is the fan voting going to just carry him?
No, I don't think so. I was checking the fan voting earlier, and I don't think I
No.
saw him too high in it. That would be such a problem because like people would be like losing money to LeBron getting in on a fan vote. So that would be problematic. I don't think he's super high in the fan voting though right now.
Should we move on to the East?
Yeah, I wonder if we just want to like do the East in like a part two, just so we kind of like all the time in the world.
Yeah, sure. All right, be right back.
Back for part two. All right, let's see. We're gonna switching over to the Eastern Conference for part two, where I think the starters are probably a little more contentious with the East. I don't think there's nearly as many locks. So that might be kind of the fun part of the East is like picking those people. And as far as like the reserves go, as we kind of alluded to earlier, it's a little bit easier to choose, I think, just because like it's not quite as deep as the West. Like it doesn't really feel like there's anybody who's like really missing out towards the end. But like I do think there's like a spot or two that's like kind of fun to be like with the open spots that the East allows, like maybe this guy's an all-star when he probably shouldn't be, but so be it.
He should
Anyway,
not
I
be. He should
think
definitely
yes,
he should not.
there, there definitely be one or two of those guys. I'd say to start though, I'd say locks in the East. I would say I'm gonna say there's two locks. The only people I think are
What?
like confirmed locks. Actually, maybe you could lock four. Do you
There
have
are
how many
seven
locks do you
locks.
have?
Seven.
I mean for the starters,
Oh,
like locked in starters.
okay.
There's only five starting spots. Like there can't be seven locks as starters.
Yeah, no,
I'm saying for
the
starters, I'm
starters
like
is tough.
I think there's two locks, maybe three, and I would say like the locks would be like Cade is locked in point guard.
Kate is locked.
Shooting guard is like up for debate. There's like a ton of guys who could take that spot.
It's
Small
positionless
forward,
though, we agree, right?
yes, it is positionless. The way I have it set up is like guard, guard, forward, forward, center. So I do have like a little bit of positions in mind, but
It is positionless though. So it just we speak in terms of pure performance,
Yes,
Giannis and Jalen Brown, we agree.
agreed, agreed. The other two spots I think are like a little more up for debate. I think the next one that to me is like pretty close to a lock is like Jalen Johnson. I think
Mm,
he's in there. He's been so good. I think he's legitimately been like a fringe top five player this season. And then and maybe you wouldn't have him there. I have him and then my last spot I gave to Maxi. Just because like everyone thought the Sixers were gonna suck this year. Maxi's absolutely cooked. He's been unstoppable scoring. He's played pretty much every single minute for the Sixers this season. So I gave him the start.
it's
But I
actually
think those last two are a little more debatable as far as who you want to slide in there.
it's tough. Yeah, because then you have to, yeah, Donovan Mitchell and Jalen Brunson, I think, also have very good
Completely agree.
cases as
Completely agree. They're right outside, and I'm like, they could totally be starters here.
those are my seven, by the way, that we've mentioned.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah, I would go Maxey and Brunson, probably. Sorry, Jalen
Yeah,
Johnson. As much as he's been incredible, I think there kind of has to be a nod to the precedent and you know what we know. You know what I mean? Jalen Johnson first
yeah.
year.
There's always like the yeah. It's very hard to be like a first time All Star and be an All Star starter, as well as like if your team is not quite as good as some of the other teams, where it's like the Knicks are back to the two seed right now. Granted, the East sucks though. Like that's one of those things where I'm like, I'm not putting as much weight on that this year as I would in years prior. Because I just think it's less impressive. I'm like, sorry, it's like the East is just unhealthy. The Knicks are healthy. So like, yeah, you're gonna be the two seed this year. I'm not that impressed by it actually. So I still think it's a fine debate to have. Like Brunson has been incredible this year. Same thing with Mitchell. Like both are very deserving All-Star starters. And honestly, like Brunson will probably be an All-Star starter just because of the New York fan vote. So in all likelihood, he will be in there. But that's what I went with. I went Johnson and Maxey.
Yeah. And yeah, the Knicks are second also, whereas the Hawks and Cavs have kind of been disappointing, and the Sixers are kind of having a surprise season. I did not think they would even be in the playoff hunt, and they're sitting at fifth. Behind Maxi's insane production, and we know with Edgecombe and even Embiid's small contributions, they have looked pretty good.
Yeah, they
Um,
are. They're a fascinating team.
so yeah, I guess I said it. I'll take Brunson, Maxi, Cade, Brown, and Giannis as my five. Um, but yeah, Mitchell and Jalen Johnson are right there, and I think those yeah are my quote seven locks at least as all stars. And I think after that it gets like just weird and like these guys I would not even take as
Yeah.
all stars.
I agree. It's like pretty much like after this point, I'm like, I actually don't think any of these people should be all stars, but I think they will just be all stars because their spots open. Like this is exactly where I'd be like, all right, this is where like Reeves goes.
Exactly.
This is where James Harden goes. This is where Chet Holmgren goes. I'm sure there are more people in the West we could dig up and be like, these guys deserve to be like Jimmy Butler, maybe. Like I would take Butler over a couple of these guys.
Yeah.
Um, like I wouldn't be like thrilled about it, but like I would. Okay. May we have fun with this? All right, may, just give me somebody. Give me like one of your undeserving all-stars. Because I do have a couple here. And like I think they're probably like two or three that like I feel okay about. And then there's like two or three that I'm like, ooh, like I feel bad about doing this.
I'll say the one I feel the most okay about is probably Scotty Barnes.
Yes. Yeah.
He's looked awesome. The Raptors have kind of played better than I'd say most expectations. I mean, I famously had them probably as the fifth seed. I'm not sure where they're standing now, but they're looking like a
I
pretty
think they're around four. Yeah, they're four right now,
right where I
which
had
is
them.
awesome. Yep.
Um, so yeah, and I mean, Scotty is he's been awesome on both sides of the ball, plays super hard, and I think talent wise is worthy of the spot. Even though I'm not even sure if he's averaging like 20 points, but whatever.
Yeah, I got his stats. I think he's averaging like 19. He's averaging 19.4, 5 assists, 8.4 rebounds, 1.3 steals, 1.4 blocks. It's kind of those like defensive stats that set him apart because that's like a really critical part of this Raptors team where everyone else will kind of like also bring some offense, but not necessarily the defense. Funny enough, I saw in the fan voting that like Brandon Ingram was also getting a lot of fan votes for the All-Star game. I imagine Barnes will edge him out to get the spot for the Raptors, but
Yeah.
that'd be kind of interesting if it ended up being Ingram. I don't think it will be, but
Barnes, I would say, is definitely the more deserving of the two, but Ingram is also having a great season. And yeah, the Raptors are a super fun team. Um,
they are, they are. It's like they're still so interesting. I can't believe they let Masai Ujiri go and now they're like good after he made those moves. Kind of a kind of funny thing, kind of unfortunate, but
who is
okay, I
Ingram
agree
dating?
though.
Is Ingram dating
Oh, I don't know.
fuck.
I do not know who Brandon Ingram is dating. I feel like
She's
there's
always
always weird rumors
courtside and
about
she's
his.
famous too.
Oh
Glorilla.
yeah.
He's dating Glorilla.
I did not know that. Okay.
Bringing some great, well, now you know. Um, anyway, yeah, okay. So I think he's like the next most deserving, and then this is where it really gets to like, I don't think any of these guys are particularly deserving.
I agree.
Um,
All right, I'm going to give you a name. This guy
Maybe.
like is barely making it for me, but I have him in Michael Porter Jr. Fuck it. I know the Nets are terrible, but he's averaging 26 points per game, 3.5 assists. 3.5 assists for Michael Porter Jr. Pretty good. 7.4 rebounds. You know, he's getting a steal every game. He's also seventh in the league in like point differential. So like his like on off stuff is actually really really good for the Nets. Like he's it's not really empty calorie stuff. Like the team is like legitimately pretty good when he's out there. So they're having like a lot of discussions around like, oh, do the Nets need to trade him now to like tank a little bit better? Is this guy a really valuable asset for a team that is trying to win it now? Like is all of a sudden his contract doesn't really look like an overpay. So he's been really good. I know the Nets suck, but I think you could make a fair argument for him to be an all-star. And then obviously, like the three-point efficiency numbers are just absurdly good as always. Like he's maybe the best contested three-point shooter in the league.
Yeah, no, I think they have a net rating of basically zero. They're neutral with him on the court, and then they're insanely terrible with him off the court. Um, yeah, he made my list.
Let's go.
Shout out MPK, who we did also say on this podcast. Well, you had the take that he would be having his best year by far, and how good of a trade it was for the Nets, and it's kind of been that narrative, and people have definitely given him his flowers because he is having an insane season, and it's cool to kind of see him scoring in ways that we didn't get to see as much in Denver, and kind of tapping into obviously how touted of a prospect he was before the injuries and whatnot. But yeah, he's an insane talent. Uh, and yeah, without those injuries, who knows? I think he would have been like he would have been an all-star lock, that's for sure.
Yeah, and like apparently like he's playing with this have you seen like the foot thing that he plays in? Like his like the calf brace?
Yeah.
It's like I forget what it's called, but like essentially what it is like it's like to prevent drop foot, which is like an issue that like stroke victims have, where essentially like the nerves in like the foot area will get messed up and make like the foot essentially just like flop and do nothing. So he legit has like a brace that like holds his foot up to prevent drop foot, and he's averaging like 26 points per game with that, which I think is ridiculous. Like because like on the court like it doesn't look like his foot doesn't work, but like his foot doesn't really work that great.
Yeah, no, that's insane. And I know he has that giant leg brace thing, so um damn, yeah, that's crazy. Um
All
Moving
right,
on.
other dudes.
I
Yeah, I
guess
think we move on here. Yeah, give me somebody. Go for it.
Cat made my list.
Me too. Feel
He
terrible
had
about it. Don't know
Yeah,
why. He's been fine. His stats are fine. The Knicks are fine. So like, sure.
it's recency bias. He's had some kind of bad performances. Um which I'm very I think I had said that the Knicks, I was kind of like, oh, they might kind of um I don't know, struggle with the new coaching and system changes. And despite them being second in the East, it does kind of feel like, especially recently, there's been, um, I don't know, less fluidity, and there are the Jalen Brunson cat pick and roll all of a sudden doesn't seem as much of a surefire thing. He's had some duds. Anyway, yeah, I think he's probably got averaging just over 20 points.
Yeah, the efficiency is like notably down big time, where it's like he's shooting like 52% from the floor last year. It's down to like 47% this year, which is like a guard number. Like that's like pretty bad for a center. And then he was 42% from three last year, which is ridiculous. Like that was awesome. Down to like 35% this year. So like yeah, meh efficiency, but like yeah, the Knicks are still good. He's still an all-star caliber player.
Below expectations, obviously, but I think he does deserve to get the nod for just how good of a player we know he is, and obviously there's also the factor of like these guys are gonna probably play well before the All-Star game and kind of improve their numbers. Some of
Mhm.
the guys we'll talk about shortly too, who've been injured, I think could definitely improve on their stats, and that's kind of why I did give them the nod, and they did make my 12 team, my 12 player cutoff. So.
Yeah, yeah. And we're definitely at the point now too where it's like there's also the counter argument. It's almost like I feel like I'm less so like making the case for these guys to be all stars right now, and I'm more so just being like, I think their case is better than these other guys that could potentially get this spot. Because if someone was like, explain why Cat's an all star this year, I'd be like, I don't really know, man. Like, I don't know if he should be. But ultimately, like somebody has to be here, so it is him. I just think he's a little more deserving than potentially some other guys that could make it here. So I've also got him, and like he's I don't know, he's still having 21 points per game and 11 rebounds. Like that's really good. So and the Knicks are good.
So do we agree? Do you agree on Cat?
Yes, I'd cat there as well.
Okay. So we each have 10, yeah.
We're yeah, so we're lock and step right now. We've got two spots left. I think I've got one more that I think I feel okay about,
I don't.
and then I've got one that I'm like, this is just I shouldn't, but I'm going to. My next one is Mobley, and I'm like, I guess I'm like the Cavs like haven't been that good this year. Like the defense hasn't been as good. He just hasn't been as good. Um, but I don't know. I'm like, I don't know who else I'd put here. There's some guys who are like on my shit list who are getting snubbed, and I'm like, these guys are not making it this year. I'm sorry. So I put Mobley there, and like Mobley might also be like a little bit one of those investments where I'm like, I know this guy is like one of the best defensive players in the league and insanely talented. So even if things have been like a little slow for the Cavs, I do expect things to pick up in a big way. But like I said, like I hate kind of like projecting things out with players for the All-Star, but just looking at my snubs, I'm like, I'm not putting like Bam Adebayo above him. Like Bam has not been good this year. So I'm going with Mobley.
Yeah, I ultimately gave him the nod too. Same reasons as Cats, where I think it's just like, yeah, the resume and kind of projecting forward, I think he is the more talented player over some of these other guys. Um, and he's not having a bad season, but it's ultimately below expectations and definitely below kind of where we a lot of people thought his career trajectory would be at this point. And yeah, and the Cavs have been majorly disappointing on top of that. So
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing is like the Cavs are currently sitting at the seventh seed after like we were saying this offseason, so it's everybody. Like the Cavs have consistently been like the one or two seed like the last couple of seasons, and is the weakest the East has been. And the East is always pretty weak, like almost like ever it feels like. And they're the seventh seed, like it's just like they're sandwiched between like it's like Magic, Cavs, Heat, Hawks is like the range they're in right now. Like they're lower than the Raptors and the Sixers right now. Like that just is crazy to me. So not a great year for them. Like it feels like not great giving the Cavs two All-Stars this year. But yeah, I'm like, I just like, I don't know, man. I'm running out of options here, so Mobley gets in.
yeah, I think you kind of just tickled me there by saying that they shouldn't have two All-Stars, and I that might
That kind of
take him
tickled my
off the
brain
list
too,
for me.
actually.
Because yeah, maybe fuck Mobley and
I kind of okay. I'm gonna put Mobley in orange on my spreadsheet. Let's do our last spot and come back to Mobley because I could actually be persuaded to replace him with somebody else.
me too. I
Okay, who's your last?
Same as yours, I think.
Did you put down Josh Giddey?
No,
I put
I
down
put
Josh
down
Giddey.
Jalen Duren.
Oh, that's good. He's missed a little bit of time recently, so I didn't put down Duran, but I
Yeah,
do think there is an argument for him, especially because like the Pistons are deserving of a second All-Star.
that's how I feel, and he was playing so well, and I think he has missed maybe 7 or 8 of the last games. I think he's supposed to come back soon, and I just love
Yeah,
Jalen Duren, and he was
still played 31 games.
yeah. Um, so yeah, he's averaging 18 points, I think, probably 11 rebounds. Um, and is awesome, and I think is just continuing to improve his game, and I want to see him get that nod, and I would take him over Mobley.
Yeah, it's a weird thing where I'm like, I don't want to do the thing where I'm like, oh, the Pistons deserve to have two All-Stars, so like we're just gonna give it to their second best player. It's like I still want to like make sure that like he is a deserving All-Star. Luckily, the East is so bad that like I think it is pretty easy to make that case where it's like statistically is like pretty similar to Mobley, but the Pistons are just a better team. So
Yeah, I mean they
I'm
average the same
I'm
amount of
with that.
points.
Yep, I'm with it. I'm with it. All right, yeah, let's get Duran in there. I wish I had more of like his advanced stats to poke into right now, but I'm gonna trust that they are good because the Pistons are a really, really good team. So yeah, let's give the Pistons two All-Stars instead of giving the Cavs two All-Stars because the Cavs do not deserve it this year. They have not been good for how bad the East is.
Yeah, it's not about the Pistons needing to have two. It's about the Cavs not should not, they should not have two of their own.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 11, and then Mobley, I guess he was kind of who I had written in at 12th, but I'm torn between, I mean, I can just start listing them off. I'm like, whichever one of these people, like, take your pick, Paolo or Franz are,
No. Franz hasn't even played this year. He's played like how many games? Like eight,
no, I think he's played at least 20.
maybe. But that would be like half the season he's missed.
Yeah, I'm gonna check. No, but I think he has played more than you might think, but,
Franz
and
played 24.
yeah. Super average stats, kind of below expectations. Same with Paolo. It's like Paolo's
Paolo's been shit.
very
I was like,
inefficient,
I
missed a lot of
refuse to
time,
give
obviously.
Paulo. I refuse to give Paulo a spot on the All-Star team. I'm like, this guy just, I'm putting my foot down. I will not give him an All-Star vote. Um, as I kind of said this offseason, I'm like, I just don't like the Magic. I don't like their vibe. As expected, they suck. Pretty hype about it. And yeah, I hate watching them.
I did not think they would be this bad. I still don't totally understand why. They moved to six. They're playing a bit better. I think Paolo is gonna have some really good games that might solidify his candidacy in these coming, you know, days. But yeah, I don't think he's worthy. The most worthy, I would say, is probably Norm Powell, who's having a great
I was
year.
about to say Norm. I think Norm has got like a strong argument there.
So between him and Mobley, they can get my 12th spot.
I'm gonna give my 12th spot to Giddy still just for fun. I just like the idea of doing that.
Giddy's on my long list, but man, the Bulls have sucked so
They
much.
have sucked big time. They were really fun at the start of the year. Giddy is sneaky averaging though. Like he's getting like 19 points per game, 9 rebounds, 9 assists. The 3-point efficiency is actually like really good this year. He has been a very bright spot for a Bulls franchise that has not had very many in a long time. So I like having him there for fun. Maybe it just makes me feel really good about our takes around Giddy and Michael Porter Jr. if we slot them both in. But yeah, if I weren't going to put in Giddy, I'd probably either do Norm Powell or Mobley. And I think I would actually give it to Norm. Norm's been awesome. And he's shooting like 44% from three. Like he's been like lights out.
Yeah.
He very much is like an offensive train, and that's kind of it. But the offense is so good, and like the Heat have been good enough. And he has been their best player. Heroes missed a lot of the year. As I said, like Bam, not that good this year.
I think just in general, I think there was just a lot of hype around Bam in those Eastern Conference runs, and he is a great player, a great defensive player, but he's not like a particularly awesome player, and it seems that, you know, the,
Yeah.
people are still kind of figuring that out.
Yeah, like with Jimmy leaving, you'd expect his like points per game to take a jump up into like the 20s, and he's getting like 16, which is like not a lot at all, especially during a year where like scoring has really exploded. Like we probably have like five players averaging 30 plus points per game, and probably like 10 plus averaging 29 points per game. So it's like scoring is up in a big way this year. So they average like 16 points per game on a Heat team that's starving for scores. Not impressive. Not an all-star.
Other people on my list was just Celtics bias. I said, hey, Derek White.
Me too. Me too.
The shooting splits have not been as sexy as they were last year, but obviously just watching the Celtics play, how good he is on both sides of the ball. and how kind of important we know Derek White is, and just averaging like a block and a half as a guard still amazes me.
Yeah, block and a half and a steal and a half. So like three stocks per game. Super good.
One of my hot takes was Peyton Pritchard could be an all-star. Obviously, not the case. It was the hot takes purge, so it doesn't count, but
Fair.
um, he has been awesome. He's probably averaging, 17, 5, and 5. I thought maybe he could get to 20, but um, yeah, I'm just kind of glazing the Celtics, who I've just enjoyed watching so much, who touched the second seed over the Knicks. They fell back down, but like just an incredible season. And it would be cool to have another guy get the All-Star nod, but I understand that that's not going to be the case.
Yeah, probably not. But I agree. I thought Derek White was worthy. I essentially have them as like my third guy out in the East. So like pretty close. I mean, and as we kind of said, the East is like a little weak as far as like choosing all stars goes. But yeah, Derek White's had a really nice season, and he kind of had a slow start to the year too. So he's really turned it up in the last month and a half. Like if he was playing the way he's been playing recently the whole season, all of a sudden he's got like a lot stronger of an argument, especially with how good the Celtics have been.
Anyone else that you thought was worth mentioning in the East?
Funny enough, no. That is my list. There was not a very long list of snubs, considering a lot of people even made the All-Star team I thought should be snubs. So no, but what about you? Do you have anyone else that we didn't mention?
Uh, no,
I
no.
mean,
I mean,
yeah, I'm like we want to eyeball standings, like teams we haven't mentioned to be like it's like Siakam's been fine for the Pacers, but like no, like they're so bad this year, can't even consider it. Hornets don't get anybody. LaMelo hasn't been that good. Wizards get nobody. Sorry, Trae Young. That's pretty much it. It's like, yeah, the Raptors don't get anybody else. If you want to go West, it's like Pelicans, nope. Kings, no. The only guy we didn't mention, actually, looking at the West, would be Lauri Markkanen has been really good this year and has had like sneaky, really good on-off stats too. Like his on-off numbers are really good. His like advanced defensive metrics have been really good too. And he is getting a lot of all-star votes this year. Like he has actually had like a really nice season for the Jazz. They're still very obviously tanking. Like they will sit him shamelessly. They will sit Nurk shamelessly. Same with Keontae George, who's also had like a kind of nice season.
yeah,
So because of that, like it's tough to justify, especially in the West, giving Markkanen an all-star vote. But I mean, like if he was playing in the East, it'd be like no questions asked. This guy would find a way in.
yeah, no, that's a good show, and yeah, Keontae George is a very good NBA player, and I think is going to continue to kind of surprise people, and I think it'll be before we know it that the Jazz are like a very very good team. Yeah, I get it would have been cool if Zach Edey didn't get injured. I thought he could have had a
He was having a
continued
really
season,
nice season.
and the
Yeah.
Grizzlies are staying afloat, so. Um, But yeah, no, I think we mentioned who was worth mentioning. Um, NBA changed the format first of all, and maybe just get rid of. I'd be fine getting rid of the All-Star weekend.
Me too. And honestly, like All-Star Weekend is annoying too because I like watching basketball. So I hate when we have a week of no basketball and they're like, "Oh, we have like the dunk contest and the Rising Stars game." And I'm like, "I just don't want this. I would much rather watch like the Kings and the Trailblazers play each other than watch the All-Star game."
Yeah, and it's such a shit show, and it's like all the your least favorite influencers and just media person. I don't know. It's like I don't want to see Kevin Hart and Drewski. I don't hate either of them. I don't know why they caught that straight, but yeah.
It is always them though. It is always Kevin Hart in particular. So, no, yeah, you're right. It's like, yeah, no, it's just such like they just play it up so much for like social media and like all of that. And it's just like, and not in a good way too. It feels like very much like boomers trying to like relate to younger audiences and like doing so horribly. So yeah, it's not a good product. It never will be. So they definitely need to change the format. But yeah, those are the all-star lists. Any final notes, Paul, before we close this thing out?
No, I mean it's been another episode of the Harold McBasketball Show. I mean we were pretty much on the same page with I think who should make the All-Star team. Um, we'll be back releasing more episodes as the season continues.
Yep. Yeah, let us know. Feel free to put your comments below. Let us know how we did with our all-star teams. If we snubbed anybody you really like, let us know. Also, feel free to pitch ideas for new episodes. I don't know what we'll do next. We've been meaning to do an episode on rookies, so that might be coming up, but we'll see. Who knows though? Because obviously the trade deadline is also coming up, so we could also do some speculation there if we wanted to.
Is Giannis going to get traded? I don't know.
Is he?
Probably
It's in the
not.
rumor mill right now. Who knows? Are the Hawks just stocking up to make that deal? I don't know. But
Anthony
anyway,
Davis, not going to get traded.
ew,
Broke his
ew,
hand.
yeah, gross.
Peace and love,
Uh,
everyone.
Peace
No.
and love, everyone. Thanks for tuning in.